with all the money being thrown around by the government, how is that going to affect the future? Welcome to Preparedness. Alright, welcome back, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Like always, I appreciate it. If you're digging the videos, please do the like, share, subscribe thing. If there's things in the videos that you want us to work on, put them in the comments down below and we'll do that. Anyway, talking about all the money the government's throwing around, more than normal, right? And this is going back to last year. My opinion, strictly my opinion, they're throwing money to try to fix a problem that they created. That's my opinion. I heard somebody say, oh my goodness, what was it? Works in Washington, deals with a lot of politicians, and he was talking about how that is the game plan a lot of the times with them, is they need to figure out some way to be the savior. So how do you be the savior? You got to have a problem, right? I'm not even talking about, false flag events, just the little stuff. It's like, okay, how can we be the saviors for these people to keep them happy? But anyway, with them throwing around all this money, okay, with them throwing around all this money, sorry, we had some traffic there, I had to pause. What is that going to look like for the future? I know that what are we now? Mid-20s trillion dollar in debt. And I don't think it scares people anymore. I remember, not really growing up, but high school, college age, when kids start paying attention to stuff. I want to say we were at 8 trillion. And that scared the crap out of me. It's like, if you think about how much money that is, it's like, how are we going to pay that off? And I think people have just gotten used to it and be like, oh well. Because once again, my opinion, I do not see how in the world we can ever pay that off. It's just not going to happen. I don't know if we're going to ever see it go down, to be quite honest with you. And what does that mean? That's a great question. Nobody really seems to know. There are a few people out there. Well, you got people on both sides. You got people, oh, it's no big deal. It's good to carry debt, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, $25 trillion. And then you've got the people that, the dollar's going to collapse. I'm closer to the side about the dollar collapsing. They've been saying it for years. And if it doesn't collapse, the inflation is just going to be outrageous. It's for some of you youngsters out there, back when I first started driving, gallon of gas was under $1 a gallon. And yeah, you're going to listen to the old folks tell you stories. But I remember my wife and I, when we first got married, just the two of us, $50 a week as far as grocery bill, and we were good, okay? Even just a few years ago, back when we had the 3-kid range, my wife is doing an amazing job. She kept it under $100 a week. And yeah, not even close to that now. Can't do it. I mean, I guess if you're living off rice and mac and cheese and all that affordable stuff, you could probably tighten it up. But yeah, just the inflation is crazy, and I can only see it going up from here. There's no way. It's like I tell people a lot of times about the precious metals. I'd wish I bought more. I'd wish I'd bought more. You know what I mean? Back when, yeah, high school, college age once again, I think silver was like $5 an ounce. And even, I think maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, it was down to like the $14 an hour range. Last time I checked last week, I think it was up around 27 or something like that. So the precious metals are good, and even right now, I was wanting to wait till it comes back down. I don't know if it's going to come back down. So you guys do your own research on the precious metals and act accordingly. But no, I don't see the debt ever getting paid off. I don't see inflation ever slowing down. It's just going to get worse and worse. And the problem is people's salaries, their wages, are not really keeping par with that. Okay? And I'm going to get a little political for a second. I really think that that's what Democrats kind of want, okay? They want big government. Republicans, small government. They want as many people as possible, this is my opinion, on government assistance. If they get those people on government assistance, of whatever form, they've got that vote, because nobody's going to vote to decrease their money, their food, their whatever they're getting money for, whatever they're getting help for. They're not going to vote to lose money. So that's just my take. I heard a buddy of mine years ago, I think I've said it on here before, that the old saying of give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. The Democrats want to keep giving the fish. They don't want to teach the fish. The Republicans are the ones that want the people to do for themselves. So maybe that's the whole idea with this, is to just drive people back to that poverty level, right? So that the government can hand out more stuff. And as far as the end game on all this stuff, I'm not going to get to conspiracy theory. There's plenty of other channels out there for that. But yeah, it's just not making sense when it comes to these stimulus packages. I was fortunate enough to be able to keep my job during all this going on. I was deemed essential. My wife was laid off for a while, but even at that, if I remember right, she was bringing home more sitting at home than she was going to work. She's back to work now. She's been back for quite a while now. But it's like, if you want to help people out, great. But try to figure out who needs the help and help them. And before y'all start on me, no, I'm not giving money back, okay? When they give us our stimulus check, yep, it's going to go in the bank, and it's going to pay off stuff, and it's going to do some repairs that we need and all that other good stuff to go into the preps. I'm not going to be sending it back. But there are people out there that are really in need, and there are people that are getting this stimulus money that don't really quote unquote need it, okay? And once again, yeah, they're going to take the money. They're not going to give it back, and I ain't faulting them for it. So with what we're on to the third round of stimulus now or something like that, they ought to be passing today. I would like to have seen a little more caution, a little more investigating when it comes to who needs the help. And once again, I'll be happy to get the money, so I'm not being a hypocrite. But at the same time, I would like to have seen them look at that a little more. And even with that, the old stimulus checks are just a small portion of this overall massive bill. They have been since the first stimulus was passed a year ago. As far as the direct payment to the people that need the money, that constituted just a small portion. I'm sure all y'all remember back in December when they were trying to pass the second one, and they had millions and millions, probably billions of dollars going to other countries. Why? We have problems here, and I understand other countries need help. I get that. But let's take care of us first, and then we can help other people. You know, just like when you get on a plane, you know, and the lady's giving you the little seatbelt talk and everything else. They tell you that in event of emergency, the oxygen mask will drop down, blah, blah, blah. Well, they tell people that have children, place your oxygen mask on first, and then put the oxygen mask on the child. And at first it's like, well, that's stupid. We got to protect the babies. No, man. If you die, neither one of you get it. Okay? And that's kind of the thing with the U.S. and these other countries, is let's make sure we have our oxygen mask on first, and then we can put theirs on, right? So let's take care of us first. Large portion of it going to bail out all these cities, these states that have been wasting money, not using it correctly for years and years. Has nothing to do with the pandemic. And they're getting paid by this, and it's all coming from, well, I can't even say really taxpayers now, because they're just making it out of air. They're just pulling it right out of thin air. They're just making money. So I caution everybody. It looks like this thing's going to pass, so majority of Americans are going to be getting another check. Keep that in mind when you get that check. What's the future looking like? I would recommend buying. Well, buying what? Whatever. Everything is cheaper now than it's going to be in 6 months, than it's going to be in a year, than it's going to be in 3 years. So buy stuff. Buy your food, okay? Number one, my book. You know, all your preppy stuff. You know, if you need ammo, although ammo's still pricey and hard to find, I can't bring myself to do it. But anything like that you can buy now, because the price is only going to go up, guys. There is no going down. So I pray for our future. No one knows what's going to happen as far as economically. The only thing we can do is try to look at the history and try to apply what's happened in the past to what's currently happening now and what was the outcome of that. So everybody, watch your pennies, pinch your pennies, get your stuff, and we will talk to y'all after a while. Bye.